All right.
Hello again, sports fans. After a 2-week hiatus, I can't say we're tan, but we're rested and ready. Corey Smith, I'm Jeff Cook. This is Sports Chat. Sean and Jordan standing by to take your calls.
Well, I think one's standing and one's not.
Yeah. Well, I've already told that story a few times. And I said, it was a young lady, an intern, and I said, well, actually, she's seated. And she thought I said she's conceited. And I put that out on live TV. No, she was not conceited at all. Anyway, let's move forward with our agenda. I know you always have an agenda. It's never hidden, always out there in the open. We didn't have a show last week. Maybe it was lame, or it was maybe, a total of an inch of snow, but then there was like slush and ice on top of it. A lot of us come 10 miles or further, and it just didn't make sense to come here. I know a lot of people, we talked to somebody at Gettysburg Loves Love who confessed to get their trivia fix, watch the rerun.
Yes.
You heard that too?
Yeah, I got that document. That was on the camera.
That is dedication. So anyway, we will have trivia tonight. We're going to record it, so hopefully everyone has that kind of dedication. They'll be able to play along whenever we show it.
Yeah,
again.
if you want to play, it'll be on, just go to the communitymedia.com/trivia, and then you can just kind of,
Okay, so you can
way.
play along, but
yeah,
it won't be televised per se with the scores and all that sort of thing. Okay, all right. Anyway, this is week 871 of Sports Chat, February 18th, the shortest month of the year, only 10 days left. And what do you got? Hottest scene in sports?
Well, I'll let you take the shining star. I mean, you
shining
can talk about
star?
we haven't talked about the Super Bowl, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's since Super Bowl. Oh, man. Robert said, no way Eagles win Super Bowl.
No way. In caps, I think he was.
No way.
shouted
I
that
put
out
it in
there.
quotes. Yeah, no way Eagles win Super Bowl. Ooh.
No way, Jose, but.
Super Bowl. Eagles 29, Chiefs 27. Barkley MVP, Dallas Goedert X Factor. Chiefs 42-20. Who said that? Was that you?
I said Eagles. I went Eagles the whole way.
Okay,
yeah.
did Robert say Chiefs 42-20?
I think
we need someone to decipher my hieroglyphics. This is like the great, the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, let's see. That's 40. Yeah, that's Chiefs 42-20, and that was Robert.
That's
there.
what I guess.
Yeah.
We have to deduce that because he said no way Eagles will win Super Bowl.
Yep, and I went.
You went 29-27. I guess I didn't.
Yeah. I don't think you threw your hat. I think you just said Eagles. I don't think you went.
I didn't want to jinx it. I was superstitious, I think.
I mean, how funny. He has 42-20, and that was the score, but that
I
was...
like this note. Jeff was at grandson concert. That's touching. He was so cute, too, and the whole thing lasted maybe an hour, so it was perfect. I mean, only because it was not overly overplayed. So, yeah, Shining Stars. Let's talk about all the teams that qualified for the districts.
Absolutely.
Biglerville girls, I got to cover them for the paper, and they beat Lebanon or Anvil Cleona, so they are hosting a playoff game. I think it might be tonight. So we wish them luck as they're getting ready to get it on with, I think, Upper Dauphin maybe. But so they're Shining Stars. DeLone boys and girls are in. Gettysburg, neither is in. I don't think Burn, either team got in.
New Oxford.
New Oxford, the boys got in.
Yep.
They were like probably a low seed, but they got in, and we know a lot of those guys. We've covered them over the years, and we're talking about before we came on the air, a compilation of our players of the game, maybe getting them here in the studio, mixing it up with young people, talking about rap music,
Or something,
whatever comes
yeah.
to our mind. Yeah. So we are live now, but trivia, as we just talked about, will not be live in the traditional sense. Hopefully, we'll everything back to the usual next week. Amy Welsh, hopefully she feels better. So she wasn't going to be able to be here for trivia tonight anyway. So you'll be here as a panelist,
Absolutely.
and Brandon's going to ride shotgun, and then we'll see if we have Anna or Greg, or we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
So kind of jumping into the Super Bowl there, I mean, what was your takeaway from that? Because I thought it was going to be a more closer scoring game there, but
It was just one joy after another. I mean, offense, defense, special teams. The Eagles, I mean, I try not to just be absorbed all day in my phone, but sometimes you get, now I know what clickbait is. After all these years, I figured it out. Okay, I fall victim to it. And there was things like, this is why the Eagles were guaranteed to win, and it showed them inside the locker room and just talking among themselves. I didn't listen to the speeches, but Barkley apparently was really good. You could just tell that they just took it to them.
Yeah.
It was, what, 40-6, and then garbage
couple
time.
I even would say the touchdown late in the third quarter was a garbage. I mean, when the Eagles are up 34-0, there was
Was that
not
with
a-
Devontae Smith? That put him up
hey,
34
that's,
nothing,
you
or
know,
was
let's
that
go
40?
for the end shot there. But
Yeah.
once it was 34-0, I felt like the Chiefs didn't have enough possessions. They had to score in bunches. They had to get a turnover. But at that point, the Eagles would just keep on handing the ball off to Barkley. And so
Yeah.
I just felt like
He only averaged barely 2 yards a carry, but
they didn't go away from the run game. That was the thing.
and that's why Jalen Hurts was the MVP.
Yeah.
They
So-
took what they gave him. Conversely, the Chiefs couldn't run the ball at all.
No, they abandoned the run game, I felt, way too soon. You know,
Couldn't do it.
when you have Mahomes as the most carries and the most yards for your team, it's not good.
Both quarterbacks led their teams in rushing. I don't know if that's ever happened in a Super Bowl before. Maybe.
I don't think so.
I can't imagine it.
Probably, but
Yeah.
I doubt it. But when you have Mahomes with 4 carries, and then Pacheco and Kareem Hunt,
Yeah.
have less than 4, that just means you're chucking the ball every single
Well,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
Plus the sacks, you say the offensive line is a real problem for the Chiefs. If you're a Chiefs fan, that's the number one Achilles heel right now, and they didn't really address it adequately during the season. I read about that.
And you look at the Eagles; they had 0 blitzes, 0.
Yeah.
And to just have
Vince
6
Fangio.
safes,
Yeah, well, and then they just dropped guys into coverage. Zach Bond had an interception. He just dropped, and Cooper DeJean, he just dropped in, that middle zone, and
it was an awful pass by Mahomes. I felt like off
wasn't he throwing across his
the body.
body?
We always say you can't throw across the body, and that was one of them. And
I don't think he
it's
even
just-
saw DeJean because he was right there and made a great play, pick 6.
And that's what made it 17-0. I thought at that point, I'm like, all right, the Eagles are cooking, with gasoline now, where it's like, hey, can they get this? And even when it was 24-0,
Yeah.
I kept on getting flashbacks to when New England came back from 28-3 with the Falcons.
Yeah.
I had that as like, if the Chiefs.
Well, you figured
start-
Mahomes has that kind of magic, but just not on that day. That's for sure. The
when-
Eagles, the defensive line, they were dominant.
When Mahomes is 5 for 10 for 25 yards or whatever it was in the first 2 quarters, that's not winnable football there.
No, Kelsey, no catches in the first half.
Yeah. So,
was
and then
pretty
the catches
upset.
he had was just in garbage time. Same with Xavier Worthy. He had 6
2
catches,
touchdowns. Yeah.
150 plus yards, but most of that is just on prevent defense, and they're just
Didn't they have some key drops too? Yeah, I mean, you look at the Chiefs team and you figure that receiving core got a lot better during the season, but again, if you have a leaky offensive line,
when you have
It
Marquise,
throws everything off.
when you have Marquise Hollywood Brown that kind of regressed a little bit there.
But he came back from an injury and has
Hopkins with the
world-class
drop
speed.
there. So when you look at it,
Yeah,
I look at
Hopkins.
it as almost spare
Aging.
parts. You got
Yeah, well, that's
older
true.
parts. So
Then they had the guy that. Oh no, was he?
are you thinking of Rashi Rice?
No,
or?
I'm thinking of the Commanders. Picked up a couple of guys from the Eagles. Ertz, one of
Ertz,
them,
yep.
played well against him, and then the other wide receiver, number 13. I can't. Esquivius, or I don't know what his name is. I don't know.
But I think the fact that not too many people talk about is actually the punter for the Chiefs. I would have never thought that we would, talk about the Chiefs punting, so many times. But
Yeah.
the thing was, so many of those punts went into the end zone. Where you look at,
If you pin somebody back,
and that was the thing where the Eagles had 2 punts and they were inside the 20.
and then the net is like what, 15, 20 yards.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's where I felt like a lot of people are not talking about is the Chiefs' punting game. Yes, their offense was
Positional punting,
positional,
not
and
just
kind of,
wailing the ball down the
that
field.
coffin corner, getting them down to the 10-yard line was not
Directional
there.
kicking.
So, looking at your notes, I see October 1st. Look who's in your hot seat there. Look at that. Look how things just change.
Nick Sirianni, I guess probably they had lost and they were 2-2 or something
I
going
think
into
they
the
were
bye
2-2.
week.
Yeah, so that looks like week 5. So that looks
I'm
like
gonna
they're
put
2-2.
I'll write a little comment. Ouch, and I'll put today's date on it. There we go. Try to interpret this.
Look at that. Yeah.
All right, so we kind of covered basketball, but the Shining Stars wrestling teams doing great. The Gettysburg Warriors and Bermudian, I think they both won their sectionals. And the boys wrestling, now you have to say boys or girls wrestling. We didn't used to have to do that, but a change for the better. And so great job. We wish everybody well. And then, what are they? I guess they're in. Well, the team competition is over, isn't it?
I believe so.
So now they're into the individuals, and Biglerville had a great season. So good job to all those. Let's go negative. I'll start it off. All right, so the NBA had its All-Star break. I did not watch 1 second of the festivities. Did you?
I watched bits and pieces.
Okay.
Highlights,
What did
I
I
guess.
miss? Did you watch Mac McClung in the dunking contest?
No.
I saw a clip of him jumping over a car
Yeah.
and grabbing a ball off a ladder and like reverse dunking.
Yeah.
And he looks like you and me. I mean,
Now
except
he's a three-peat, so
yeah, 3-peat.
dunk
Wow.
champ. So
Well, I guess Stephon Castle was in it. My son went to UConn, so he was following him. And how'd he do?
I don't know. I
You
didn't see
didn't-
that.
you didn't
I
see
just
that
saw,
part. Okay.
All
right, so Team Chuck lost to Team Shaq.
that's what I have on the.
We'll
on the
never
notes.
hear the end of that
No,
on
no, we
their
will not.
pregame show. And what is the official name of their show? NBA Today on the, I don't know. I mean, with Ernie and
I'll get that in just a second here.
Smitty.
But what was your thoughts on the All-Star game? With the OGs, the global stars, the rising stars, the young stars.
I kind of, I mean, it was, I didn't watch a second of it, like I said, but I like the concept of it. Anything's better than a 210 to 190. Is that what it was? Oh, last year? Oh my God, nobody wanted to watch that. That's excruciating.
Yeah, there's no defense here.
It's like who can dunk? They just get out of the way, like Red Sea for Moses.
Yeah, it just parts the ways, and
yeah.
we're gonna dunk. I feel like this is a little bit better, but it's just still in that rut where it's like there's still who cares?
So really, yeah, at least they're playing the game of basketball, not flag football, and not 3-on-3 hockey. They're playing 5-on-5. What do they have? 2 or 3 subs. I mean, they're short games.
It's a short game, yeah, because you're playing up to 40
Well,
points.
yeah, I mean, they don't want to
so-
get anybody hurt. It's supposed to be. I mean, were they? How were the crowds? Were they sold out?
I have no idea.
No. Okay.
Inside the NBA.
Inside the NBA. Okay.
So looking at it, I get the philosophy of having 4 branches: your young stars, your rising stars, your OGs, and the global.
Does that mean old guys? The
think
OGs?
that's- yeah, I think they just-
Who was on the OGs?
Well, I think
The old gangsters. They can have several meanings. The OGs.
I don't know the exact roster there, but like I said, I didn't watch too much of the game there.
No.
But it's better than what it was before. But I still feel like it's not the best alternative, but it's better than having people clear the lane and then you just dunk and then you score.
Yeah, no. Did they have Team Kenny Smith and Team Ernie?
I think
Or
it was
just Shaq and
Candace
Chuck?
Parker. There
Okay.
was Chuck, Shaq, and
Were they coaches? Were they actually on the sideline?
I think they were all honored coaches or
Okay.
such there.
They
but,
probably coached themselves.
But when you have stars like this,
Steph Curry, he was the MVP, wasn't he? Yeah, I agree. It is a step up from the fiasco. And as far as they had who won the 3-point shooting contest,
I can tell you in just a second here.
So we know Mac McClung won and then when they have something called the skills competition, they dribble around cones or something. I don't need to watch that.
Well, you
It's like-
have Wemby and Chris Paul that kind of got disqualified because they kind of they had to shoot a 3-pointer, but they didn't. They just kind of chucked it quick and missed all 3 of them, and kind of olayed it, I guess you could say. But the 3-point contest was Tyler Hero was the 3-point contest winner.
All-star for the first time.
Yes, so we got that.
Wow.
But I didn't watch the celebrity basketball game on Friday or the skill competition Saturday. So I mean, the NBA All-Star game itself, I just felt like it's just on the back burner.
Yeah.
I say the same.
Yeah,
with
like the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl. I was just getting ready to say. I think of all the 4 major sports, the ones that I would probably watch is probably baseball and then hockey. And we didn't have hockey All-Star game this year because we have the
4 nations.
the 4 nations there. So
Booing each other's national anthems.
yeah.
Don't get me started.
But I guess my hot seat for this week would be Illinois men's basketball. And you're probably thinking, what do they do? Nothing on the court that they did. They had a banner for Terrence Shannon Jr., a retired number 0. And when they had the banner up, the banner was upside down.
Well, it still was 0.
It was still, yeah, so the 0 was not upside down, or
Technically
yeah,
it was.
technically
but yeah.
it wasn't, but the name itself was upside down. So you saw Terrence Shannon, so it was going up in the rafters.
Well, that's if you want to lay down on the court and look up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, it's just a humorous hot seat there, but
Very humorous.
something
I like that.
you know-
Yeah. Okay. Who was in charge of that? You're fired.
Well, the AD is taking full responsibility of it, but
And of course they can correct it and do it again next week.
yeah. But I
Sure
mean,
you have it right this time.
when you're going through the ceremony during halftime and you're like, all right, here's Terrence Shannon Jr. What happened? So just a little flaw in the
Yeah.
the
That's
people.
like I don't know, giving Abe lamb chops or something like that on Rushmore instead of a beard.
Yeah. Who made your hot seat there?
I got the Sixers, I guess I started to talk about the All-Star break and they had, 30 games left or something like that.
20 or something like that, or
Not enough.
yeah.
So this big 3 concept, they played very few games together. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey and Paul George. It's not on Maxey. I mean, without him, they'd be dead in the water. And Embiid and George just can't stay healthy together. So who knows? I mean, it's still possible to make the play-in.
Yeah, I don't see them going above the play-in because right now, they are 24 games back. The 6th seed right now is the Pistons, and they're 15.5. I don't see them catching
8.5 games.
8.5 games there. So that'll be a tall task there. Yeah. But they're not that far away from the Bulls. The Bulls are 22.5, so they're
a game and a half behind the Bulls
from them.
Well, that's nothing.
The Heat is 18.5. So you're looking at 6.5.
But there's got to be a sense of urgency on that team, and they got some guy Grimes, which I mean they picked up a couple of new guys in this 3-4 team trade. It's hard to keep track of all the moving pieces. But Oubre's had a good year, but anyway, that's who I stuck in the hot seat. Who do you have?
I was
you said Illinois about the banner.
Yeah, the upside banner.
Gaff.
Now, my shining star, I'm going to go a little. I'm going to go to the track. I'm going to go with William Byron winning his back-to-back Daytona 500. He was running 9th on the last lap and dodged the wreck and won the race. So I will go with the 24 team for winning the race. So
wow,
it was lots of wrecks and
the wide world of sports.
Yeah, anything is for the taking. Kind of looking at the basketball landscape, you weren't here when the trade happened with the Lakers and the Mavs.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on when that trade happened? Because I had to do a double take.
Well, I mean, Doncic is 6 years younger. He's, I think, widely considered one of the top 5 players in the world. AD, when he's healthy, is a two-way player. He's kind of like Paul George and Joel Embiid. He doesn't seem to be able to stay healthy. Well, Doncic has been durable. I know he's had a calf issue or something like that. So I know the Dallas fans. You know how they feel. They're not happy about it.
Not happy one bit about that. It was just, the way with Anthony Davis, couldn't finish the game itself there, and then he gets hurt.
Yeah, he had a triple-double, or so he had a great game.
And now he's out for multiple weeks with a groin injury there, so who knows what that is. You look...
Well, it's actually an area between your legs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. I walked myself into that. But looking at the Mavs right now.
I'm sorry. I'm just seeing if the FCC, they are watching this. I thought they wouldn't be watching trivia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that'll be on the blooper reel. I think Jordan's going to cut that one out there, but
I hope not.
But looking at the Mavs, where they're at right now, they're the 8th seed in the West. They're 30-26. It's just a very lot, chaos right now in the West compared to the East there, because you have the Phoenix Sun. They're not that far back. They're 4 games from the top seed of the playing round with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They kept their big 3 intact. So they're hoping to, kind of like the Sixers, have it all gel down the stretch.
I would say a team outside looking in the West that could make that playing round, I would go with the Spurs. I think the Spurs have been a little pesky. I know they were 3-7 in their last 10 games there. They played hard against the Celtics, but didn't win.
Coach Pop's still on the sideline?
He's not with the team yet there. I'm not sure. My guess is probably won't until maybe...
Well, how bright is their future with Castle and Wembanyama? They're both, 20 years old or 21?
And they got the veteran with Chris Paul there, so I can see maybe a formation of them, making a run there. A team that could, slide out. If I'm saying the Spurs are going to make the play-in round, what team could bounce out? I would say maybe the Kings, maybe the Mavericks. I mean, with how things are shaping up, because I mean,
Kyrie's on that team. If he's your number one guy, I don't know. It doesn't always work out. So
with the injuries that the Mavericks are dealing with, I could see them sliding out there, but that's 5 games difference with the Mavs and the Spurs there. But
the Rockets have continue to have a great season. It seems like they're overachieving, but I think they had a couple guys on the All-Star team, and then LeBron, 40 years old, he's unbelievable, and now they have Doncic. And I think they've overachieved this year, the Lakers.
Yeah, and right now they have like a 6-game winning streak, and the team that's almost underrated right now is probably the Nuggets. The Nuggets are on an 8-game winning streak to go on the break.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long ago that they won it all. What, 2 years ago?
2 years ago there, yeah, because the Celtics won last year, and the Nuggets won 2 years ago there, but. I don't see the Nuggets being the 1 seed. I think the Thunder will probably get that. With them being 44-10, with about less than 20 games left, I can see, or a little less than 30 there. Yeah,
MVP.
I say so. Yeah, I mean he looks like the clear favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, looking beyond the Spurs there, I don't see. Trailblazers, they're no, I don't see that. The Jazz, no. The Pelicans, no. So
no. Yeah, what about is Zion Williamson back playing yet?
I don't think so. No.
Who knows? They just and then did they trade Brandon Ingram? He's been hurt too.
I think he's been hurt, but I don't think he got dealt. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the landscape of the basketball there.
All right, so and they're like the teams like the Grizzlies always seem to be under the radar. But they've Ja Morant, so I mean he's a superstar.
Yeah, I mean the Grizz right now they're 8 games back in the Western Conference there with Oklahoma.
Well, what seed would that be?
Oh, that'll be the 2nd seed there.
Oh,
so
there you go.
When you have OKC just kind of running away with it right now, they're going to be clear number 1 seed.
And then how about Cleveland in the East?
Yeah.
Did anybody see that come? I mean, maybe.
You
could tell they were better last year.
With the first-year head coach there with Atkinson. So, he's been...
First year for them. I mean,
that's what I meant to say. First year with the Cavs.
No, I got it. I got it.
So they've been, playing astounding basketball, which... I looked at them as a fringe, playoff team there, maybe in the playing round or such there, but to be 44-10, sharing the same record as the Thunder right now is
well, Donovan
very
Mitchell, he's an elite scorer for sure. And then Darius Garland, I mean, I think people in the know about him, but maybe he doesn't get the publicity. Evan Mobley, same kind of thing. And Jared Allen, just like a double-double machine with a classic afro. So
very impressive afro.
Yeah, for sure. Let's segue to college basketball.
Yes.
Is Auburn still number 1?
Auburn is still number 1. Let me get the rankings here.
How many losses do they have?
They have 2 losses, I believe.
One of them to Duke.
One was to Dookie. The Auburn Tigers are 23-2. Florida's 22-3. Duke is 22-3. Alabama is 21-4.
So Florida's number 2.
Florida is number 2. They
with Tommy Houck, the new Oxford product, averaging 8 and 7, 8.7 rebounds a game.
Their,
sophomore
here,
and here they are. We probably have them on tape somewhere. I'm sure we do.
So, yeah.
We should try to check that out. New Oxford, what would be 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
Yeah,
he probably played as a 9th grader and a 10th grader.
If there was that many, Thomas Howe, let's see here. He has played 584 minutes. He has, he's 20 for 59 for 3-point.
Yeah, I mean, he can shoot the 3 and he can crash the boards. He's got good size. Played 2 years at Perkiomen Prep, which I don't know much about their basketball program, but
I never heard of that school. I mean, in fairness,
yeah, I mean, I've heard of it because I'm back from that area. So anyway, good to see him doing well. And there was a little blurb in today's Gettysburg Times about him. That's how I was up to date.
Yeah, so, we got March Madness, the brackets will be coming out in a month. I think the tournament will be starting in exactly a month from now, because you had the first four that'll be playing on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then the tournament itself, the Field of 64, will be on that Thursday. So exactly a month we'll be watching the tournament unsued. So, but yeah, it's been a very interesting season so far. You had so many SEC schools ranked. You got Alabama and Auburn, that were going back and forth last Saturday. 1 and 2 in the nation there. So,
Well, how about Cooper Flagg? I mean, have you had a chance to see
Oh, yeah.
him? I mean,
very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he can hit the three. Great defense. I mean, he's what, 6'10",
Something
6'11"?
yeah.
And he's definitely a modern day ball player with a lot of skills, great moves around the hoop and block shots. Projected as the #1 pick.
Funny that you just said that, because there's talk that he might come back for his second year to win a title if they don't win this year. So
Why not?
Yeah.
The kid he's 7. He just turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
He started. Jaminski, same thing. Started as a 17-year-old.
this whole thing with the NIL, and he's getting
Right.
endorsements and all that there. So
He's a
if
kid from Maine. He's probably making more money than he ever dreamed of making. I don't know already, and with a bright future ahead of him. So yeah, I mean, if they win it all, he might say, "I'm ready for the NBA."
Yeah.
But
if they get
that's
knocked
a
out,
big.
in the-
If
in
you're
the-
18 years old,
huge
going to the NBA with grown men.
yeah, or say a
Like
second
Wemby,
year,
I guess, did all right, but
Yeah.
he was, urbane from France,
the development,
sophisticated.
kind of get your feet,
Right, or what do you do with all that money? It's so easy to misuse it and lose it, and so.
But with that, we do.
We have a caller?
Yeah, we got a caller.
All right,
No lines are
hello.
working.
No, that's welcome to Sports Chat. Hello. Oh, isn't it past your bedtime? What is it? 6:30? Okay, all right. Was that a small child or some kind of? I thought maybe it was a cat.
I thought it was a cat too. I mean,
Meow, 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 meow. What?
I can't speak that language. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're such a clever linguist. Usually, what?
I said woof woof.
Hello.
Are you the one who said no way Eagles win Super Bowl?
I'm so happy about that, you know that?
What?
He's so happy that he was wrong. I think that's what he's saying.
Oh,
He was saying-
yeah. Nice try, buddy. Ex-pal. Nice try. So what's new, my friend? What's the countdown to the races? Spring is coming. Believe me, trust me. You don't feel it today, but
Maybe next week.
it's going to get to 50 in a week.
I know, yeah. Slowly but surely.
Hey, Mr. Cook,
Yes, sir.
let's get this thing first out of the way, first of all. Let's go back to the Super Bowl game, okay?
Why do you want to get it out of the way? I want to dwell on it.
I want to get this out of the way right quick, though.
Okay.
Okay? The Eagles had the ball, okay? And the referees called it a pass interference on the Eagles.
I remember A.J. Brown. Yeah. He pushed off.
Yeah, I think
There's a lot of hand fighting now in the NFL. That was a cheesy call.
I felt like it was a 50-50, but I think with the hand to the face, I think that probably was the reason why it was pass interference. Just with
Eagles
that.
didn't protest it
Yeah,
too much. So.
I felt like it wasn't a big call there, but I understand it was a very in the gray area there. But the hand in the face, it was going to get called.
Anything else, sir?
So I was hollering at the TV the whole time about that little incident.
Well, well, I know you don't like the Chiefs. Does that mean you were rooting for the Eagles?
I was rooting for the Eagles anyway, so.
Well, thank you. Maybe you turned the tide.
I guess he wanted to change his
Your
his
pick?
thoughts there. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. It was like you gave a perfect reverse whammy and assured that the Eagles would win their second Super Bowl title.
It was
So
such a good whammy that he had the score right, but wrong team.
that's right.
Yeah, 42-20.
42-20. I didn't even realize that when we looked at that earlier. Wow.
Hey, Corey.
Yes, yes.
What about the time when the Eagles had the ball and the guy was stepping out of bounds and they shoved him out of bounds? Why didn't they call a roughing the passer then? And the guy was already out of bounds.
Mahomes?
No, the other guy, the running back for the Eagles.
Oh, Barkley.
Was it the running-
They know he's tough. He can take it.
I had to
I
go
don't
back
know.
and see that play there, but I
Yeah.
felt like it was a pretty well officiated game there. I just you look at that first call with the offensive PI there, it's a little ticky tacky there.
Yeah, I agree. It was
All in all, there wasn't one of those that hey, there was that holding call, this and that there.
Or when they lost 2 years ago, and there was a pass interference call in the end zone.
That
That guy, he didn't last. He didn't come back with the Eagles.
which
He might
then
have been
set
back
up
last
the
year.
field goal and such
Blackberry,
there. But yeah, I think it was
Like the device, BlackBerry. Not that I know anything about that stuff. Yeah, my friend, go ahead.
I'm not going to say anything yet until trivia time.
well.
About the racetrack. It's going to be race related of how many days it is to the racetrack.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything about that until trivia time.
I'm just warning you, we could.
Zero, no.
I just have a premonition. There's a chance we could be preempted by a municipal meeting.
It'll just be pre-recorded, so we'll see. But
We won't be able to guess who you are until next week.
So no trivia?
there is.
No, you can play along, I think, at home, but it won't be as interactive as it usually is.
We'll still see.
We're
who you
recording
are,
it, yeah.
But we won't be able to. You won't.
I
be
don't.
able
I
to
really
see.
don't know how it's going to go down, but the show must go on. So,
I'll be a panelist.
and we're sorry we didn't have sports chat last week, Roberto. It was bad weather, and we didn't want to chance it. We're not making millions here or billions, so
We just took the night off.
yeah. But yeah, if it was a matter of life and death, we would have been here. But for some people, it was. They watched, had to get their fix, watch the replay of trivia.
We had a fly or something come over here. I had a.
Either that or you're seeing things. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's
Like
off now. I had to flip it
Renwick
away.
and
Yeah.
Dracula.
Yeah, we don't want the bees. We had the bees before. We'll take a fly.
Hmm.
I think the bee almost stung you a couple years ago. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It was- yeah. I almost got a call from PETA. Go ahead.
So who was actually the winner of the Super Bowl this year? Between those three.
Well, I guess.
Well, I guess we got to give it to Corey because I didn't write down that I had an official entry in the competition.
You're
So
just more vocal, yeah.
I think I didn't want to
You just said
jinx
Eagles.
it.
Yeah, you just said
I didn't want to
Eagles
get
win.
too write any numbers down that could go against us. Bad mojo,
Yeah, you don't want any bad mojo.
juju, mojo, whatever. But Corey picked the Eagles, so
I'll take the crown.
Barkley MVP.
That did not happen. No.
No.
When you have 20,
maybe- yeah.
when you average 2.3 yards per carry and no touchdowns, it's kind of hard to be MVP. So, almost Cooper DeJean was almost a Super Bowl MVP there. So, I mean, that was not in my bingo card there, but
He made the play of the year in my
yeah.
opinion. You saw that?
I would agree. Yeah.
The tackle he put on Henry. Actually, I mean, it was a form tackle, and Henry goes about 240. So I guess Cooper DeJean has spent some time in the weight room. Hey, we didn't talk about Jimmy Butler. Seems like he's off to a pretty good start with
Yeah.
the Warriors.
Yeah, that kind of slipped
The
right
chemistry.
through. Yeah, I think that was we talked about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. Will he get traded at the deadline? And I think this is a good spot. I think I
They
said
can put up with Draymond Green.
yeah, they can put up with anybody. So
And those guys, yeah, and Steph, he'll try to be the glue that holds them all together. But Jimmy Buckets, I mean, I just saw some clips from the first game. He looked good.
you know, maybe with this rest and you know the All-Star game being at the Bay Area. But I think that was a good spot there. That was one of the three that I kind of
Yeah.
felt that he could go.
I wonder what went wrong in Miami. It seemed he was there for
I
3
think
or
it
4
just got a little
years.
toxic. I just
Yeah,
felt
but,
like you
yeah,
know
I
it kind
know.
of ran its course. Maybe you know, a
Yeah.
little
The,
awful
the
there.
bloom was
Yeah.
off the rose for whatever reason. All right, go ahead.
Yes.
Did you watch any of the NASCAR race yesterday?
Yeah. I had you know William Byron as the shining star. I mean, it was you know it was kind of you know not a lot happening in that second stage. You had Logano that you know kind of wiped out the cars. You know when he you know had problems. You know
Do they call him Lord Byron?
maybe. I mean, some people could. Yeah.
The 19th century writer, I think.
But I felt like it was a good race there. I'm surprised it didn't end under caution there because of that wreck on the final lap there. But it was you just have to survive the wrecks and survive the race and see what happens. So he was ninth going into the white flag and wins the race. So you know, see what happens this week. It's you know at Atlanta. You know that's a mile and a half. You know, a super speedway-esque, you know, type of track there. So
You watch that stuff?
yeah, you know, I've walked back and forth.
Yeah,
with that,
right,
you know.
Robert, you watch racing on TV?
Now and then, depends on what race it is.
Don't they just keep going around and around?
Sometimes they make a right turn and a left turn. Depends if it's a road course.
Oh, the
so.
course, okay.
Yeah.
That would be a little more interesting.
Hey, Mr. Cook,
Yes, sir.
I just want to give you a little heads up. It's going to be a little busy down your way this week
Okay.
because this is the opening week for Lincoln Speedway.
All right. Will you be there?
No, I will not.
Oh,
gonna
I
be a
thought
little
maybe you would wave the starting flag. Do they still do that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. But I think you should do that, though. I think you should do that. You do it. And you be the grand marshal.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. I'm sure they have someone more qualified. Well, listen, when does Williams Grove open? March? April?
16th.
16th. I think you said what? March 16th. You said.
16th. March 16th.
Okay.
March 16th is a Sunday.
Or 15th.
15th, Saturday?
16th.
Then it's on a Sunday.
All right. Yeah.
Right before St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in the weeks ahead, where you can get your Irish on. What?
We're green. He said. We're green.
Oh, yeah, wear green. I wear green. I still have the $2 bill you gave me.
Oh, that's good. Keep it for a while.
I might need it just
Yeah.
for my maintenance, my sustenance. You never know. Things could get bad. Well, listen, we're out of time. Thanks so much for joining us, Robert, and happy spring to you. Believe me, it's coming. Groundhog did say 6 more weeks of winter, which means we got about
Right,
another
unfortunately.
month.
You know, that was the other thing, you know, when I was on the show, I put the groundhog on the hot seat. I forgot to write that on the paper there, but the groundhog, you know, was on the
Okay,
hot seat.
I like
the other week
that.
There, yeah.
I'll put
I'm not
ground.
going to put the groundhog on the hot seat yet.
Well, I don't want to put it on the hot plate, but
Yeah,
you know.
he's not shining. That's for surely. That groundhog is not a shining star.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
Because he's,
as only predicted in early spring a handful of times.
know, yeah.
A handful of times. Well, just look at the calendar. It makes sense. Well, listen, Any parting thoughts?
Well, next week we'll talk a little bit more about baseball. Well, more because we didn't
Pitchers
really
and
talk
catchers have
about-
already arrived.
Yeah.
Probably the first spring training games are about a week away.
This weekend we got
weekend.
some games there. So we'll talk in depth of baseball next Tuesday with college hoops, because with football, there's not much. There is.
Well, yeah, how do the Eagles repeat? And we can talk about that. How do you maintain free agents? And so there's a lot to talk about. Robert, are you still with us?
Hey, Mr. Cook,
Yes.
are you going down to spring training down in Florida this year?
No, I'm not. I'll just have to wait until the regular season starts, and then I look forward to listening to the games on radio, watching TV. The biggest thing coming out of camp, something we've been talking about for years, Trey Turner leading off, Schwarber batting cleanup.
Yes.
Hello,
Contract year for
Trey.
and Schwarber.
Schwarber.
Yeah.
Well, I know Schwarber had this thing about, he hit a lot of leadoff home runs, including the first time he ever batted for the Phillies. But doesn't this make more sense?
I think so.
Yeah, in the long run. And I'm glad they came to that. It's good to do it before the season even starts. Get everybody thinking along the same lines. Listen, Robert, we're out of time. Hopefully we'll chat with you next week. All right, Corey Smith, Jordan and Sean in the control room. I'm Jeff Cook. See you next Tuesday and every Tuesday here on Sports Chat. Good night, everybody. Mahalo. Stay tuned for trivia next week.
What a show.